us shortly will be Honorable Geoffrey Ruku, who is the Mbere North Member of Parliament, and Ruth Kinyanjui, an economist, will join us virtually shortly. But before beginning our conversation on the state of the economy, just to highlight what is on our dailies this morning, the People Daily splashes of revealed why KCSE results have delayed. On the Daily Nation, inside Ruto's plan to tame Gachagua. And on the Standard newspaper, new faces of impunity. In a striking disregard for court summons, the Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja and the DCI boss Mohammed Amin yesterday for the second time failed to appear before court to address chilling cases of mystery abductions, instead choosing to stick to a familiar script for law enforcers, that is defiance. Honorable James Gakuya, how do you react to Douglas Kanja and the DCI boss Amin failing to appear in court?
Joe, what I would say is that there is an importance of obeying the law, all of us. Because the law was not crafted for few. And no level or no portfolio that is above the law. And failure to respect court orders and court directions, it is a total ignorance. We have seen, we have witnessed there before, another police officer who failed to admit to court directions, and at the end, she was to go to kneel to the court to be given what I would say an option of acquittal after he was committed to a jail term. In this case, I would like to say that in fact the matters that actually the IG and the DCI has been requested to do, despite that in fact a 5 number of abductees were released, that does not mean that that is anything to stop from obeying court order or court direction. He would have, even though, because I am sure that there are various number of other important matters, but that does not stop from obeying court directions. What he should have done is to show a respect to the court, appear, just give out what you know, and then move to those other business of the day. So I would say both DCI and IG, this is a very bad image that they are creating to their juniors, because this is how their juniors will be able to embrace. And I don't think that this is the allied direction at all. I therefore would ask that let all of us, including members of National Assembly, anybody, whoever is elected or appointed, should be all of us. If we want our court to stand to be independent and respected, let us all obey the directives of the court, and that's the only way we can be seen respecting our constitution.
And now we are also joined by Honorable Geoffrey Ruku, who is the Mbere North Member of Parliament. Asante sana Mheshimiwa for being with us this morning, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yesterday I saw you welcome the President.
Yes.
With the Deputy President,
yes,
of course, alongside there. And just before getting to you, Honorable Ruku, maybe Tobias, on the issue of obedience of court orders, as of course a Kenyan, yes, not even in your capacity as the Chief Executive at CAM, yeah, how do you react to the fact that the IG of Police Douglas Kanja and the DCI boss Amin fail to appear in court when the court needs them, and now they risk being sentenced to jail?
I think it raises a lot of governance issues, and this presents a lot of concern. A concern for the citizen, a concern for the investors, that if the people appointed in different positions cannot respect the court order, it demonstrates bad will and bad governance, and we need not to encourage such incidences. I think we all need to obey court order court orders to demonstrate that we are a democratic country that obeys the law.
And now, Honorable Ruku, on Kanja and Amin, who are now on the spot.
Court orders should be respected by any person, regardless of the position in any government or the position in society. I'm expecting court orders to be respected and adhered to. DIG Masangeri was in a similar situation, and it was not a very good kind of discourse which we saw as Kenyans. So I think it is in order for anybody, regardless of the position in the society, to respect the court orders. And I think this is something which the administration has been stressing on. And we have seen this administration respecting court orders, especially where major policy decisions have been declared null and void. And the administration has been respecting that. So I am expecting that IG, Inspector General, and his team to read, because they are there to enforce law. As they enforce law, when they are not abiding with the same law which they are enforcing, then it leaves a lot to be desired. For me, is that let them respect the court orders. Kenya is not a banana republic.
Well,
Kenya is a constitutional democracy. And in a constitutional democracy, court decisions are respected.
well, and now, because of course, both of you are politicians, and I'll also be getting the comments of Tobias as far as how politics affects the economy. Honorable Gakuya, Daily Nation splashes of inside Ruto's plan to tame Gachagua, where there is a Kindiki factor. DP Kithure Kindiki has planned a series of meetings with various stakeholders in Mount Kenya to try to pacify the region amid growing discontent with the Kenya Kwanza regime. Prof. Kindiki has also been tasked with overseeing tea and coffee reforms, a task that was being handled by Gachagua before he was ousted from office. On Wednesday, he met stakeholders on approaches to opening up new export markets for Kenyan tea. Now, here there is a battle where President William Ruto has embarked on a 5-pronged strategy to neutralize his former deputy, Rigathi Gachagua, and regain his waning grip of the vote-rich Mount Kenya region. From his recent rapprochement with his predecessor, Uhuru Kenyatta, to winning the support of the ex-Mungiki leader, Maina Njenga, Dr. Ruto is not leaving anything to chance. Recently, you've raised concerns of this pact with Maina Njenga. Why so?
Joe, what I would say is that this regime must move out of side issues. Those political side issues, they are of no any single importance. What it should concentrate is building the nation. And Kindiki, as the deputy president and the head of state, they have what we call duty to serve the nation. Serving the nation, you don't require to use Mungiki, you don't require to use those goons for what? Because Kenyans are after development. And there is nobody who will even throw a stone, nor a mud to anybody, as much as you are coming to bring development. I don't think that it's anything wrong. Kindiki being given mandate also to spearhead that particular docket of making that our tea, coffee, milk are on the path. And I don't think that there is any mistake, because what we are expecting is this government to deliver. As taxpayers, Mount Kenya people are taxpayers, and we need to see their taxes being utilized in a prudent manner and giving back to the people. This does not bring any element of 2027 politics. What I would tell you, Joe, is the future politics of Mount Kenya is totally, completely different from the line of development. And I can assure you, the determination, we is totally left. to the voters. And I can tell you, you may use any side issue, any gimmick to people, but at the end of the day, they will show you a dust. And that is it.
Is there a suggestion?
There is one thing I can tell you for sure. People of Murima, their heart is no longer in this regime. Whether you do what, whether you give them what, you betrayed them, and that was the end of it. This one I can assure you, take this to bank. But developments are mandatory. They are not. They should not beg development. They are taxpayers. Yes,
Honorable Geoffrey
and that's a
Ruko,
business.
no matter what this government will do, or Ruto's government will do, it will not sway the region to back his re-election come 2027. That is according to Honorable Gakuya. Is it the case?
It's very unfortunate to hear my brother Gakuya talking about regionalism, tribal politics.
I'm not the one who betrayed. My friend, a betrayal is a betrayal.
Let me make my point. You know, I've been listening to my brother Gakuya quietly, without interjecting. One, Professor Kithure Kindiki is not after pacifying any region, is carrying out a constitutional mandate. Constitutional mandate, deputizing his boss, who is the President of the Republic of Kenya. Number two, Kenya Kwanza administration promised Kenyans on a number of things, implementing the plan which was laid down during the campaigns. That is exactly what the Deputy President is doing on a day-to-day basis, implementing the plan. Yesterday we saw him going to see about Taiva Care at Kenyatta National Hospital, to see how Taiva Care is getting implemented, whether the patients are able to use Taiva Care to pay their hospital bills. We saw
that is the constitutional mandate. How about the political aspect?
Listen, this year, 2025, is the year to implement the plan. This administration has made very painful decisions for the last 2 years to be able to stabilize the economy of the Republic of Kenya, to get the inflation from 9% to 2.6%, to get the prices of commodities to a stable price level, to get Dora to a stable level, Kenya sharing against Dora to a stable level, to get fuel prices to a stable level. Difficult decisions have been made by this administration to be able to raise revenue for this nation. All these are very difficult decisions. And for now, this year, 2025, is the year to implement the plan. You will see the president and the deputy president more on the field implementing what they promised Kenyans, whether it is in coffee sector, whether it is in our road infrastructure, whether it is in our health sector, whether it is whichever sector is going to be done. So the issue of this government, let me tell you, Chacha, we are all politicians. We are all elected, and there's nobody who will come to sell fear. We will be with my brother Gakuya come 2027. And I will not, let me tell you, take this to bank, my brother.
I'm with him.
I will not be surprised. I will not be surprised. Come 2027 January or February, March, my brother Gakuya will be on our side campaigning for President William Ruto for his second term. This guy is here.
Interesting.
May I can tell you, Joe,
quickly.
I have no problem. And I have no problem with William Ruto even touring to the whole region of Mount Kenya. The only missing point is he betrayed us.
Tobias, yes. Especially when political temperatures rise, how does that get to affect the business environment?
So I think Kenya is the only country that politics continues even after the elections. Yes, politics is good. We need to do politics, but we need to be cognizant, and the energy our members of parliament are using for politics, I think, should be diverted toward improving the economic environment. Because by the end of the day, as we politics, our constituency will need food on the table. And there is a direct correlation between politics and investment, stability of the economy and investment. The much noise we make and create about instability in certain areas will ward off people from investing. Politics is good, let's politics, but let us have a balance and say, what can we do to promote investment and the growth of the economy as at large.
Yeah. Also, let's get the views of Ruth Kinyanjui, an economist. Good morning, Ruth. How do you react to the whole issue of especially this government striking a balance between politicking and as well ensuring that there is a stable economy?
Good morning, Chacha, and thank you for the opportunity. Happy 2025 to you and to everyone in studio. I think one of the things that we can say in 2025, Chacha, is that there is an opportunity to do better than what happened for this government in 2024. If you look at the start of 2024, and I'll take you back to the planning bit that didn't go very well, especially when it came to the Finance Bill 2024. And also the fact that it was seen like there was a push by the government against its citizens in terms of the legislation that was coming through at that point in time. Then there was in the middle of it a lot of politics, because any political instability will always influence economic development. And there was the impeachment of Deputy President, the former DP, Geoffrey Rigathi. So with that in mind, and the maybe what now, there's the push and pull that is happening between your guests in studio, Honorable Rocco and Honorable Bakoya, that tells you that those push and pull will always pull the economic activities. Actually, if you look at the development of what happened in the economy between the month of June to October, everything went very slow because investment or investors were slow to just watch what is going to happen in the political space. That behind us, now that we already have the new deputy president and everything is rolling, there's a few development coming up when it comes to the AUC and that area in terms of us securing the economic bloc. I think 2025 gives us a clean slate, gives this government a clean slate to start all over again and to concentrate on its people, and also to bring efficiencies that didn't happen last year, especially with things to do with, say, SHIF or SHA and other things that really destabilized citizens throughout the country. So with that in mind, Chacha, there is an opportunity, and with a low inflation rate, stable exchange rates, I think the economy right now is stable, or the government has a new opportunity to start all over again and work for its people and stop politics.
Now, Ruth, according to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics report, it indicates that the GDP grew at 4% in the last, or in quarter 3 of 2024, compared to 6% during the same period in 2023. Will that have translated to the political temperatures that were high during that particular time, especially with the whole issue of the impeachment of the former deputy president, that is Rigathi Gachagua?
Absolutely, Chacha, because one of the things that political instability do, it normally breaks trust of people. And when the trust of the people is broken towards the government, what happens is people are not willing to work hard enough to compensate or to be able, they are not at their optimal. When that happens, then there is always low economic growth. And you remember one of the things that was happening last year is that there was no money in circulation. That lack of money in circulation just meant that people were holding to what they had, so that they do not invest in the economy because they do not know whether they are going to make or lose. So the fear of losing and the lack of trust is one of the things that was bringing down that was slowing the economic growth, and that is why we saw, actually, compared to the previous 2023, we saw a slower growth in the whole of 2024. The projection for this year is at 5% according to the World Bank reviews, but I think that is going to be really determined by how how the government is going to ensure that it stabilizes the economic instability that we saw last year, because we, according to the perception that was there, is that it was really, the government was really into it in terms of engaging in the political things that we saw last year. So if that can slow down and we concentrate back to work, I think we'll be at a very better place this year. And I feel like this year people are willing to work. The mood of Kenyan is to go back to work. And one thing I'll remind you, Chacha, and we've always said this, one thing that has saved this country, and maybe not pulled it back towards other, that is why it's putting its Kenya in a better benchmark compared to other countries in Africa. One of the things that has always held that is the resilience of people and the fact that small MSMEs are always willing to work very hard, because the government doesn't give it so much. And I know you have the CEO of KMA here, and with that in mind, if that space is allocated enough time and enough investment, I think this country will grow to bounds that we have never seen.
Well,
Chacha.
I'll still be getting back to you. Honorable Gakuya.
Joe, I just want
They say numbers don't lie.
Let me just make a line down. I want to refer Kenyans back to the era of Kibaki, when William Ruto and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta were fixed to ICC cases. Remember, they took this country into what we call prayers for 4 good years until when they took over. Nothing changed Kibaki from achieving all his goals in terms of economic development. Ruto, in the last term of his term as deputy president of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, he took this country 5 years in politics. Nothing changed. Economic grew very well. I don't think that today is when we are going to pick point to say politics are delaying development. Concentrate with the development. Leave politics. Our constitution does not criminalize people to express their views. People to do gathering. Just concentrate with nation building.
You're
Forget about
concerned with
politicians.
these 4% GDP growth at a time that Kenyans expected perhaps the economy to grow. Of course, the impeachment of the deputy president could have triggered this.
One, let me say, it can be part of, but it cannot be the real cause of that. It cannot. Yes, there are so many factors that actually can be able to have dwindled the growth. But we cannot start to say the Gachagua issue took the growth down. No.
Honorable Ruku, how do you react to the 4% actually GDP growth?
Chacha, we should never,
3 of 2024.
we should never argue like pedestrians or like people who have not been in an economic crash or finance or business crash for that matter. Gachagua impeachment has nothing to do with the macroeconomic parameters. The growth of the economy is a determinant of quite a number of factors, one of them being consumption. Consumption of whatever is being consumed by the government, by the economy. And one of the major spending or consumer is government. And you know that we have faced serious constraints as far as financing government activities is concerned. We are talking about over 700 billion pending bills, which have not been paid by the government. We are talking about a finance bill.
You know, you are good daddy of the government.
We are talking about a
Tell us when.
finance bill which corrupts. So, out of all these factors, Chacha, may lead into slow growth of the economy.
Well,
plus many other related factors.
I'm still getting back to
But
you.
having said that, Chacha, we are optimistic as far as this year is concerned.
Well,
because all the necessary work of laying down a proper firm foundation to accelerate the growth and achieve a positive, business environment, economic environment has been done by this administration.
I'll be getting back to you. Tobias, even as we are taking a break in a minute or less,
Yes.
Does the political tension in the country tend to create a wait-and-see situation for businesses?
Definitely. For an investor, it is a concern. Political stability is a key factor to consider when you want to invest or expand your investment. However, the impeachment of the former deputy president should not be used as a yardstick to measure the economic condition of a country. There are different factors that have affected the growth of the economy. The initial projection was that the GDP will grow by 5.6, but it was revised to 5%. If you look at the manufacturing sector alone, quarter 2 and quarter 3 of 2024, quarter 2 we had a growth of 3.2. Quarter 3 it dropped down to 2.3. That shows you there are factors that we need to address in regards to the decline in the growth of the economy and the GDP for the manufacturing sector in particular. And there are three main factors. One is the taxes that are imposed by government. Two is regulations, over-regulations. And the last one is the cost of energy. So these are the three factors that we need to address. And, and I would urge our politicians, we have the conversations around this, besides the politicking. Yeah.
Well, at that juncture, we take a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll still be focusing on Kenya's 2025 economic outlook. A lot to be discussed. Stay with us.
Mr. DJ, Mr. DJ.
Lucky.